Welcome, Ted.
Welcome.
Welcome, man. Oh, that's just beautiful.
Okay.
It's possible we may edit that part out. All right. So here's the deal. Knowing how much that you are into digital relationships, actually not digital relationships, you're into relationships, and that's the foundation of everything that you stand for. I would say at this point in time that we collectively as a culture, that we've become what I call digitally blind. And I'll tell you what I mean. Right now, I mean, we all really touch upon the factor that, oh, I've tweeted somebody, I've sent out a post, I did a Facebook post, I shared this video, I shared that. We're so busy sharing that, and I realized this myself because I realized, I hadn't actually been speaking to people on the phone, and I realized, then I made a conscious decision to start every day. I was going to be speaking to different people on the phone. And I realized that, there was a qualitative shift by actually having that live dialogue and that live interaction, that I realized that I'm not sharing with others myself as much. And there's a qualitative shift between me sending out something digitally, and even if I'm sending out X amount of tweets every day, X amount of Facebook posts every day, X amount of blog posts every week, and this and that, the other, it's not the same. And when you and I spoke about it previously, I referred to it as like a sampling of me, that I was really not giving people a sampling of me. And then I made reference to the fact that, hey, we know in the food industry, how do you launch a food product? You have a table and you actually give out samples. How do software companies apply this principle? Well, they give you a 30-day free trial, right? Or even mattress companies have even elevated it to, hey, have our mattress in your home for 100 nights. Right? And so the thing is I realized that there's nothing that replaces you or me or anyone. And that was my realization. I think it was an important one for people to realize, because they're so busy. Oh, what's the next social channel? And I figured this is an important point for us to share with the millions of people that watch our videos.
It's only millions?
At this point. Hey, look, it's early in the year.
Okay. We can make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to get your take on it, because I can guarantee that probably 98% of the people that are listening to this, they are so busy with, all these different things, getting all this stuff on all these channels, that they've forgotten, wait a second, do not collapse the human contact as all the other stuff.
They're so busy, many people and companies, getting recognition by likes, by somebody viewing their post, by the amount of views of a video, that they're forgetting about the connection part, the relationship part. And, you make a really good point about talking to people, because it's very hard to get on a phone call or to be face-to-face with somebody and not create that kind of connection. Because either you're going to sit on the phone and not say a word, and someone's going to go, hello, and you're there, and the call's going to end. Or you're going to be in person, and sure, we have different ways that we connect, better or worse, face-to-face. You might be very engaged. You might be hanging out watching a TV or a movie, but it's there. And if it's not there at all, even if you're sitting next to someone watching a movie, if your buddy kind of goes, hey, what do you think? And you go, there's no connection. You almost can't do it. He's gonna be like,
or worse, if you're there busy tweeting somebody else that's not right there.
All right. Or you're sitting at dinner like this, and you're not paying attention. And, I think when some mistakes that are happening is like when you're at a dinner table and a parent says, put your phone aside to a kid. It's not just a phone to talk to their kids. It's the game, or it's the family watching TV while they eat instead of having a discussion. There's all kinds of distractions. This is not the first distraction to come along.
No.
There have been others.
Yeah.
But, what I talk a lot about is I want to get people to understand how I encourage them to get on the phone. I encourage them to meet people and go out and see people and make face-to-face. But sometimes you can't. There's other things getting in the way of that, whether it's family or it's or it's expenses or it's time. So, I wrote the book as a follow-up to Return to Relationship called How to Look People in the Eye Digitally, which is how to do more of it here. Sometimes people say to me, why do you post so much about yourself? I say, because I'm trying to make that similar connection by sharing so much of myself. Yeah. And also by doing it, because, you talk about leading by example. I try very hard to not see, if I see you, David, doing something that I think could be done better digitally or online, what I'll tend to do is try to show you how I do it, not tell you you're doing it wrong or tell you how to do it better. Like I'll post something and I'll tag certain things, or I'll write things, or I'll reply immediately. And that's my way of saying, or some people, like I have a hashtag RONR. And there's a long story of why it's not hashtag ROR, but we'll go to that another time.
Yep.
But I needed to change it, and I did. And very often people post it wrong, and they post hashtag ROR. And there's a couple of reasons I don't want them to do that. Number one is it doesn't hit my feed the way I'd like it to. Number two is somebody gets pissed off when that happens. The Ruby on Rails people. We won't go there right now. But what I do is instead of saying, hey, David, you used the wrong tag, use this next time, I just retweet it and correct it myself in my retweet.
Yeah.
And my hope is that you'll view that enough times and you'll go, oh, like, and you'll even say to yourself, wow, that was really nice. He didn't like out me. He didn't say publicly I did something wrong. He just fixed it and let me view it.
And especially if they actually send you a response, they say, thanks, Ron.
No, right, exactly. Well, we won't go to the whole Ron R story because that's funny too. I think we've had that conversation before.
We have, but here's the thing, just to really give a good summation for a good takeaway here is, to me, digital communications are giving you and I shades of ourselves, slices of ourselves along these channels. Whereas that really, when you and I are talking, whether it's a video conference or whether it's on the phone or in person over a great espresso right down the block.
Right.
The basic thing,
some awesome chocolate.
I understand. But the basic thing is that that's the thing that I really realized, that I literally made a grid. I actually have a grid. It's like, yeah, I've got all the things that I do daily, but here's the other stuff. It's like I have a column. Who have I actually spoken to today? Not just a client or somebody, but someone new.
I love that you're doing that because, and I'm sure you've seen this or we talked about it. When I speak, almost every time I speak, when I keynote, and even most often when I am emceeing an event, at some point, I will hold up my phone to the audience and I'll say, does anybody know what this is? And they'll go, yeah, it's a phone. I go, what kind of phone? I'll say a smartphone. I go, well, what kind? They'll go, oh, it's an iPhone. And I'll go, what's the biggest word in iPhone? And 9 out of 10 times, or 9 out of 10 people go, I. And I'll say, no, it's phone. It's not just about you. And then I'll say, I'm going to challenge you to do something. Now, here's the thing. You guys all have these phones and you all have apps. And they'll go, yeah, right. So we all have an app on this phone that most of you don't even know exists. It has the numbers 0 to 9. And if you press 7 to 10 of them here in this country, you will actually end up hearing somebody's voice. And it's remarkable. You don't have to use emoticons to express emotion. You can actually laugh. You can scream. You can whisper. You can do so many things by using inflection, by talking, by expression, that people will really get to know you. So I'm going to give you guys a challenge. And if you do this, I guarantee you'll see the effect. Every day for the next 30 days, pick up this phone, just like you just said, and call someone you have not spoken to in a while. And just say hello. And even start out the call by saying, hey, it's Ted. Is there anything I can do for you today? Make it easy for them. Yeah. The reason most people don't pick up the phone is they're worried you're never going to let them off. That's why guys love text. Because that way when our girlfriends or wives call us, we don't have to have the conversation of, so how's your day? So what are you doing? We can have that later at night over dinner. We can just go, busy, can't talk right now, because that's accepted in text. Over the phone. So call a friend, even give your mother a break, and call up and say hello. And what I want you to do is do this every day, and I guarantee you, you will see an effect. And I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me to say, I did it, it's amazing, thank you. And then the reason it scales is people talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, David Brier called me. We had this great conversation. I can't tell you how many people have tweeted about my phone calls. And then so many other people know about it and they share about it. Or at a conference, when somebody does call me, I either pick up or I always call them back. They also immediately go online and go, oh my God, Ted Rubin gave out his phone number on stage. I called him. He answered. We talked. And then even though people might not do it after that, they know that you're available and it makes them feel like if they called you, you'd answer too, even if they don't ever call you. They get that feeling. I call it participating vicariously.
Cool. With regard to the concept of sampling of you and live communication, not being thrown into the same bucket as all the other communications that we get, what's the takeaway?
Well, real simple. I love the sampling of you because you give them a moment where they say, oh my God, this guy really is the way he projects himself online. And that word spreads. A brand is what a business or a person does. A reputation is what people remember and share. Take that away, baby.
Love it. Ted, as always, it's enriching.
By the way, I just want you to know, I don't do this that often, but I did it because I want to be more like David Brier. The problem is, though, I don't have access to Grecian formula to make it.
Nor do I. So.
Please hang up and try again.